Hi students, today I am going to teach you the subject of basic survey. So this is for the first year first sem students, diploma in civil engineering. So our first chapter, that is classification and principles of surveying. The topic is concept and purpose of surveying. Objectives: completion of this topic you would be able to understand the concept of surveying. So actually what is surveying? So this surveying is the art of determining the points on our surface of the beneath of the earth. So this surveying is very important for the civil engineering. So to construct any of a structure, we have to do first of all surveying. So to construct a road, we have to take the first of all surveying. To any type of structure which is used in the construction, we should do the first of all surveying. So that's why in the civil engineering, the surveying is the very important part. Next, so what is the purpose of surveying? So we are going to learn in this topic what are the concepts of surveying, and why the surveying is used, what is the purpose of it, we are going to learn here. So first question for everyone, that is, have you ever seen a plan or a map? So I think everyone have seen the a map or at least a plan. So now let us see visuals showing plans and maps. So let us identify how these plans and maps will be there. So let us see first one, plan. So how the plan will be there? So this is a plan which is of a government polytechnic Vijayanagaram campus. So you can see the plan will be like this. So this part is the building structure and this part is the plantation, and this is the totally the ground surface. You can see the surrounding part which is there, this is totally the ground surface. So this in this type the plan will be there, showing that the direction of north. So this is called campus layout plan. Let us see, this is a map. We have seen now plan. Now let us see the map. So this is our India map. You can see all the states are there. So this we will call it as map showing states and union territories of India. So how these plan and maps were located? Because of surveying. So the surveying was done, these states and plans were prepared. So without surveying, we cannot prepare the maps or we cannot draw the plans. That is the concept of the surveying. So you can see the more the maps also, that is maps showing the districts of AP, and now it is divided into the Telangana state also, whether as you can see Karimnagar, Warangal, Khammam, Nizamabad, Adilabad, okay, Hyderabad, Nalgonda. So these are all Rangareddy, Medak. Mahbub Nagar. Up to here, the all states are in Telangana. So now, how do you prepare these plans and maps? This is our question. How do you will be prepared? By determining horizontal distances. So do you know what is horizontal distance? So the distance which is taken from, so suppose this is a point, this is a ground level. So taking distance from one point to which is another point, okay, with the help of instrument is known as horizontal distance. So whatever the distance is there, this is the distance, okay. So how you will get this distance? By measuring with the tape. So you know the tape. The tape is which we will show the measurements, and or with the instrument. Whatever the instrument we are having, we will take the measurement with the length. Or now we will use the in the surveying chain. A long chain will be there. It is made up of mild steel. So it is up to the 30 meters length and 15 meters length chains will be there. So we will be measuring the from one point to another point with the help of chain the distances. So those are called the horizontal distances. And next, by determining vertical heights, so we will be find outing the vertical heights also. What do you mean by the vertical height? Suppose you see a building is there or any electrical pole which is there. So this is a building, okay. So if you want to measure this height of this building, okay, how you will be taking this measurement, the height of the building? So we have to take the help of the instrument. So at the building, this is a ground level. We will be keeping the our surveying instrument which is on the ground, okay. With the help of telescope, we will see to the top of the height of the building, that is edge of the building, okay. So by seeing this one, we will be taking the and measuring the distance from the building also, okay. So by taking this distance with the help of this angle, okay, the line of sight angle alpha, say it is. So we will know the measurement of the height of the building. So by using some of the formulas coming in the upcoming chapters, you will know how to find the height of this building by using the formula. So just basically now you just listen how to find out the height of the building. So with the help of our instruments that we will call as surveying instruments, we will have dumpy level and auto level instruments. With them we can measure the height of the stretches. Okay, so in the surveying, these are the very useful things by measuring the horizontal distances and vertical heights. And next, by determining relative positions of points on ground. So we will be keeping the positions of ground also. So that means if you see the ground is in like this, suppose this is a ground level. If you want to take the ground levels, then we will be keeping the our ranging rods. So ranging rod means just like arrows, it will be there. These are the points we will be keeping on the ground, okay. And by taking and keeping the instrument, we can take the levels from one to another 3 4 like that points. So by taking with the help of benchmark, a member will be there. So with the help of benchmark, we will be taking the measurements and we will be determining the difference between the ground levels. So these are the points which are marking on the ground are known as relative positions of points on ground. So with the help of surveying, we can measure horizontal distances, vertical heights, and relative positions of points on ground. So remember, these are very important. So now let us see the surveying definition. Surveying is defined as the art of determining the relative positions of points on the surface of the earth in horizontal or vertical plane. So this is called the definition of surveying. The surveying is defined as art of determining. Art of determining means on the ground we are locating the points. We are taking the position of points on the surface. Surface is nothing but ground level. Okay. So whether we are taking the points in the horizontal level or in the vertical plane. Okay. So whatever the relative positions we are taking on the surface of the earth or below the surface of the earth also. Okay. Below the surface of the earth also we will be taking the levels. In what cases? It is in the underground mining. Okay. Where the coal is produced, there we will be taking the underground levels. But as per the main thing, we are taking the on the surface of the earth. So it is called surveying. Remember, this surveying definition is very, very important. And next, it also includes the art of establishing points on the surface of the earth. So by using this surveying, we can establish the points on the surface of the earth. So these points are taken measurements with the help of ground levels, and these are the temporary points will be there and permanent points will be there. And next, by predetermined angular and linear measurements. So this also will be there. So we will be taking the with the help of angular and linear measurements. So these angular and linear measurements also made with the help of instruments. So with the help of chain instrument also we can take the angular and linear measurements. In earlier days, surveying refers to land surveying only. So that is in the previous days, the surveying is just like we will call land surveying. Actually, every engineering project needs surveying now, because to start the project we need to do compulsory the survey. So by use of this surveying, there are so many uses to know in the construction. We will be able to know the ground levels of the surface, whether it is flat surface or curved surface or undulated surface, and we will be knowing to know by using our survey height of the structures and vertical heights, and we can be knowing creating the points on the ground surface so that we can keep the markings of any structures. So many uses are there with the help of surveying. So that's why nowadays in every engineering project needs the surveying. So the next one is leveling. So the surveying which is doing is another word, and another one is leveling. So this leveling is totally different from the surveying, but this leveling is the part which is called branch of surveying. So the leveling is the art of determining or establishing the relative heights or elevations of different points on the surface of the earth. So it is called leveling. So this leveling also you can see this is a ground surface, so which we had kept the instrument and establishing the relative heights or normal heights, okay, which are taking to the instrument. This is the leveling. And if you are taking the instruments from higher ground levels also, so keeping the instrument at the top and keeping the staff at the bottom, so these are also taken relative heights, that means in the elevations and depressions also, okay. So this is a depression, and the elevation means the instrument will be the bottom and the top of the surface will be the, and the top of the surface the staff will be there. So here this you will learn in subsequent chapters. Yes, this regarding this leveling we will be able to know more deeply in upcoming topics. And in general, surveying includes leveling. So here the surveying will be included by the leveling. And next, here some of the engineering projects which need surveying. So let us see what are the engineering projects are required for the surveying. The first one is water supply. So some of the engineering projects which need the surveying is, that is first of all water supply. So water supply project is also required to supply the water to the people. So how the pipelines should be laid on the ground and how the water will be supplied to ground levels. And next is railroads. So these railroads are also constructed on the ground levels to travel the rails on the roads also. And next is irrigation schemes. So irrigation schemes which are generally culverts, bridges, dams, okay, canals, and next headworks. So just like gate lifting, canal regulators. So these are all irrigation works which are used for the surveying. And next is transmission lines. So transmission lines are also called electricity lines. So these are the electrical towers which will be constructed on the ground, okay. So and moreover you can see bridges, okay. So for bridges also the surveying is required. So how the bridge is stable on the ground very naturally, and whether constant any heights up and down which are there, it will be leveled by the surveying. And in buildings also, to construct a building we need to survey the land. So what are the ground levels are there, and earthwork excavation after doing bottom of the footing soil and top of the ground level. So this will be calculated in the earthwork excavation works. So for that also we need the surveying instrument and leveling instruments. So that's why these are the engineering projects they require surveying. And mines, another one is called mines, we will call it as coal mines also. So under the beneath of the surface, that is under the ground surface, so the mines will be there. So in there also we will be doing the taking the levels of ground and doing the measurement of survey. So actually what is the objective of surveying? It is to prepare a plan or a map. So with this object of surveying we will be preparing the plans maps. The primary objective of surveying is to prepare a plan or a map so that it represents the area on a horizontal plane. So this surveying will be representing the area. What is the area on the ground surface? It will be represented on a horizontal plane. So the plan and map, a plan or a map is the horizontal projection of an area. So what we will call it is the horizontal projection of an area and shows only horizontal distances of the points. So a plan or a map, if you see a plan from the top, you can see the what is the structure, what is the size, and you can see in the plan. And on the map, you can see the site layout, how it is in the map, and where is the location. You can find out that is called map. So both, so preparing the plan and map, it is the horizontal projection of an area, and it shows horizontal distance of the points. Next is plan, map. The difference between the plan and map. So plan is small area, where the map is a large area you can show, and a plan a large scale and a map small scale. Whereas example, plan of buildings or bridges etc. Whereas coming to the map, example map of India and Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana. So that is the difference between the plan and the map. So now let us see the purpose of surveying. Actually, why the surveying is required? What is the use of the surveying? So this surveying is very important thing. It is to take the measurements so as to determine the relative positions of existing features on the ground. So it is the purpose of surveying. So the purpose of surveying is to take the measurements so as to determine the relative positions of existing features on the ground. So this is the ground surface. So on the ground surface, taking the levels with the help of ranging rods or with the leveling staff. Okay. So this is determined as purpose of surveying. And next, to establish position of proposed structure on the ground. So we will be establishing the position of proposed structure on the ground by the help of surveying. And next, to determine areas, volumes, and other related quantities. So we can find out the area, volumes, and other related quantities. And to prepare maps and detailed plans, to prepare topographical maps showing the details of hills, valleys, and rivers. So here we can see, to prepare maps and detailed plans also the surveying will be used, and to prepare the topographical maps showing the details of hills, valleys, and rivers also will be prepared. So finally, this is the purpose of surveying. And next see the linear and angular measurements. So let us see the primary division of surveying and units of measurements and instruments used for taking measurements also let us see. So surveying, in the previous class we have learned the definition of surveying. Can you once recall the definition? That is, surveying is the art of determining the relative positions of points on the surface of the earth in horizontal or vertical plane. So it is also includes the art of establishing points by predetermined angular and linear measurements. So it is to determine the measurements or to establish points on the survey ground. It should be predetermined angular and he should be predetermined by his data. So that will be the generally. And how do you determine, establish the relative positions of points on surface of the earth? So how you will be determined? By taking horizontal or vertical measurements on the surface of the earth. So with the help of instruments, we can take the horizontal and vertical measurements. Then next, how the shape of the earth will be there? Let us see here. Do you know what is the shape of the earth? The shape of the earth is oblate spheroid. The shape of the earth is oblate spheroid. So it has two axes. One is polar axis is equal to 12,71380 meters, and equatorial axis is 12,756,750 meters. And now let us see the maps of the earth through a visual. So this is regarding the shape of the earth. So this is our shape of the earth. So this is called North Pole and this is South Pole. So our polar diameter is 12,714 kilometers, and in the South Pole it is equatorial diameter is 12,756 kilometers. So it is called North Pole and South Pole. This shape of the earth will be in this type. So shape of the earth, if we neglect the irregularities of the earth, the shape of the earth can be assumed as a spheroid. The surface of the earth can be assumed as a curved surface. So on the shape of the earth, the surface of the earth can be assumed as a curved surface because the surface will be somewhat flat or undulating or curved. Okay, the different variations the surface will be there. So that's why we will be assuming the surface of the earth can be assumed as a curved surface. Next, spherical and plane triangles. So this is a spherical and plane triangle. You can see the plane triangles and how it will be there. This is our earth, a round globe. Here you can see the P dash, Q dash, T dash, alpha, beta, gamma. That is PQR. So primary divisions of surveying. What are the primary divisions of surveying? So that is for taking measurements, we consider two divisions of surveying. So in the surveying, we will be considering the two divisions, that is geodetic surveying and plane surveying. So this is very important questions for your examinations also. So let us see geodetic surveying. What is geodetic surveying? It is the shape of the earth is taken into consideration in case of geodetic surveying. So that means the shape of the earth is taken into the consideration in the case of geodetic surveying. And all lines lying on the surface are curved lines and triangles are spherical triangles. So whenever the surveying is going on, all lines lying on the surface are curved lines and triangles and spherical triangles. So for works of larger magnitude, a high degree of precision. So this is the works of larger magnitude. And in brief, if we take earth curvature into consideration, it is called geodetic survey. So that means, in brief, if we take the earth's curvature into consideration, it is called a geodetic survey. What are the objectives of geodetic surveying? To determine the precise position on the surface of the earth of a system of widely distanced control points. So the ground on the ground, the control points which are located So we will be determining the position of the surface of the earth and system of widely distant control points. Next is plane surveying. So the plane surveying is the curvature of the earth can be neglected if the survey extends over a small area. So this is regarding the plane surveying. Most of the engineering surveys are carried out over small areas. So measurements, linear measurements, and we will call horizontal distances, and vertical distances, and angular measurements, horizontal angles, vertical angles. So these are all the measurements of a measurements linear and angular. So in linear measurements, horizontal distance. What is horizontal distance? It is measured in horizontal plane if the distance is measured along a slope and it is to be reduced to its horizontal equivalent. So it is called the horizontal distance. And what is vertical distance? It is measured along the direction of gravity to determine the difference in elevations of various points. So that means we can measure the horizontal distance. This is called the ground level and this is called the D. Okay, so this will be the distance of the measured with the slope also. And angular measurements. What are angular measurements? So angular measurements are horizontal angle measured between the two lines in horizontal plane. So that is the angular measurement. And vertical angle measured between two lines in vertical plane. And units of measurements for your uh, linear measurements, its unit is meter. As far as possible, the length should be expressed in millimeters or kilometers. So area is expressed in square meter, acre, hectare or square kilometers. Multiples and submultiples of unit meter. And multiples, decameter 10 meters and hectometers 100 meter, kilometer is 1000 meters. And submultiples are decimeter is equal to 1 by 10 meter, centimeter is equal to 1 by 100 meter, millimeter is equal to 1 by 1000 meters. So we must be familiar with these conversions. Multiples, submultiples. Often we require to measure area and volume also. And area and volume. What is area and volume? Area. 1 acre is equal to 100 square meters, whereas 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 square meters. 1 square kilometer is equal to 1 lakh square meters. So volume is expressed in cubic meters, and as we have already discussed, in addition to linear we have angular measurements such as, now let us see their conversions. In angular measurements, 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And basic unit for the angle is degree. So now let us see the instruments. Now let us focus on the instruments which help us to take linear measurements or distances. So horizontal distances is chain, tape, tachometer, EDM. And vertical distances will be measured by leveling in instruments, tachymeter. So this is the official of horizontal and vertical distances. Similarly, we have instruments for taking angular measurements. So those are horizontal angles, magnetic compass, theodolite, sectants. So these are the instruments for taking angular measurements, horizontal angle and vertical, and theodolite and sextants. So in vertical angles, theodolite, sextant, clinometer. So this is the our regarding the instruments from the survey in angular measurements. So finally, these are the particulars regarding the surveying. So the surveying is very useful for the civil engineering. With the help of surveying, we cannot see the measurements, or we cannot do the measurements also, and we cannot calculate the items also. So here 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes as taken, and 1 minute is 60 seconds. So that basic unit for angle is degrees. So instruments also focused here. What are the instruments we are using? Generally chain is preferred in the basic survey, and tape and tachometer is also present. So EDM, electronic distance measurement, is also there. So these are all the instruments which are focusing on the surveying. So here 1 degree means 60 minutes, whereas 1 minute means 60 seconds. So base unit for angle is 60 degrees only. So 1 acre is 100 square meters. 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 square meters. 1 square kilometer is equal to 1 lakh square meters. So volume. So this volume is expressed in cubic meters. So in linear measurements also, as far as possible, the length should be expressed in millimeters or kilometers. So that means the length which is on the footpath, it should be nearby millimeters or kilometers. And the area which is expressed in square meter, acre. So this is the horizontal angle and vertical angle. So these horizontal and vertical angles are depending upon the staff. So this is the height, which is called the height of vertical angle, and horizontal angle is which is seeing the distances to the side measurements. So these are the horizontal and vertical angle. So let us see, we call as horizontal distance and vertical distance also. So we are having these linear measurements we have seen in that horizontal and vertical distances. And coming to the plane surveying, it is only the curvature of the earth can be neglected if the survey extends only up to the small area. But most of the engineering surveys are carried out over small areas only. So this is regarding the plane surveying. So totally these are the topics regarding the surveying. So finally summary, in this class we have discussed the following objects: primary divisions of surveying, units of measurements, instruments used to take measurement. So this is called the our general surveying. So I hope everyone have understood. So in the upcoming class we see the some of the basic principles of surveying. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day. So instruments use it to take the measurements also. So thank you. Have a nice day.